Hello everyone, it's Angel from the Abernathy's Go Green. Today we're going to do a little get ready with me using some of my products that I've chosen for my March makeup bag. I just have a little makeup bag here that I put all of the makeup that I want to focus on using for the whole month. And it's turned into a little series that I like to call Makeup Monthly, where I change out the contents of this bag in the beginning of the month, and I thought I would show you guys some of the products in action. And if you haven't seen my March Makeup Monthly video, where I kind of do a little shop my stash and update you on my project pan, I will link it down below or up here on the screen if you want to check it out first. But let's go ahead and get started. I've already prepped my skin. I have my morning skincare on. Foundation that I have today, this is the 100% pure Fruit Pigmented Water Foundation. Does not have an SPF, so I do have an SPF on already. And in the past when I've talked about this, I've told you guys how I like to apply it with the flat kabuki brush, but I actually found out that I like it applied with my fingers better. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I have one pump kind of worked in between my fingers here, and I just like to pat this on and then blend. I have this in the shade Warm 4. So that was one full pump, and I concentrated it on the center of my face, and then I'm going to get about a half a pump and do the same thing and focus it more on the perimeter of my face. This is also where I have a little breakout right there that we're going to cover up. They say this is a medium to full. I really don't think that it's a full coverage. It doesn't matter how many layers of this I do on my skin. I don't think I get the full coverage. So 1.5 pumps is perfect for me for the coverage that I like. And I'm wearing the shade Warm 4. It looks really white and kind of not matching my skin on the camera, but in person it looks like a perfect match. And then we'll move on to the concealer. I do want to conceal my under eyes here. I'm going to move my mirror a little bit closer to me. I'm using the Elate Cream Revealer in the shade Fawn. This is in my project pan, and I just like to use my finger, my ring finger, and just put it in the pot and apply it on my under eyes. I don't spot conceal any acne blemishes. That's really not something that I've ever done, even whenever I had more breakouts as a teen. So I just like my concealer to go on my under eye. There's that, just a very light, natural finish. And then I'm gonna set that with the Well People Bio Brightener powder. Also in my project pan, and I'm gonna use the e.l.f. small tapered brush. And I just put a little bit on the cap and then pack my brush with the powder. Tap it and apply in my under eyes, as well as my lid, so that way it's ready for my eyeshadow that we're gonna apply later. And I also like to set around my mouth because I found that with this foundation it settles around my smile lines. And then we're gonna move on to bronzer. I have the Honest Beauty Luminizing Powder in Dusk Reflection, and that's what it looks like on the pan. I've been using this forever, you guys, and I feel like I'm barely making a dent in it. And I'm using the what is this? The Real Techniques stippling brush, and I just use this to warm up my complexion. I really don't contour. I guess you'd call this brontour. Where you bronze and kind of do a little contour of the face at the same time. I just like to do that on the perimeter of the face, just until it's all blended in. And then whatever's left in the brush, I like to do on the bridge of my nose and also here, so where the sun would naturally hit me. And that's all I do as far as bronzing. And then for blush, I'm going to use the same brush and dip into this blush right here that is in my project pan. And I just swirl that stippling brush and then apply. I like to put it on, like, kind of on my cheekbones, like right here, because if you put your blush there, I feel like it brings your cheeks up but I like to put it on top of my cheekbone. Sorry, I just shook the camera. And that just blends in very nicely. Again, whatever's left on the bridge of my nose and kind of on tops of my cheeks also. I just stipple that on all over the place. So the face is pretty much done. So now we're gonna move on to brows. I'm using the Eye of Horus Brow Define in the shade Dynasty. So I like to take the spoolie and brush my brow hairs down. And then on the other side, I love this pencil because it's so thin. And the way that I like to do my brows is do little hair-like strokes. On the whatever this part is. What is this called? Is there a term for this? I know this is the tail. I don't know what this is. And then do the tops. And then do the same with the other side. And use the spoolie. It looks very intense right now, but once I brush it with a spoolie, it kind of blends it in with the brow hairs, and it looks a little bit more natural, not like, you know, I have pencil strokes on my eyebrows. There, it just kind of looks diffused. So there's that, and then I follow it with a clear Glossier Boy Brow. And that's what that spoolie looks like. It's very, or the brush, very little. And I mentioned this in my favorites video, and I told you guys that I prefer the brown. And that is still true. I feel like the brown, whenever I do this, like I kind of flick my eyebrow hairs up, it stays there. Where this just kind of relaxes after a little while. It still holds it in place, but I like the brown better. But I do want to use this up because I don't want to waste it. So that's the brows done. And I think it looks kind of crazy without the rest of my face done. So let's go ahead and move on to eyeshadows. I have the Aether Beauty Crystal Grid palette, and though the shades are very pretty, I don't find that it has a very good transition shade. So for this look, I'm going to use the 100% pure Fruit Pigmented Eyeshadow Singles in the shade Toffee. And that's what that looks like, and that's what I like to use as a transition shade. My legs were falling asleep, so I had to readjust. With the e.l.f. blending brush, I'm gonna take some of that Toffee, just swirl it into the pan, and put it where I would put my crease shade, or my transition shade rather. I have very hooded eyes, as you can see. This is just what I like to do for my eye shape. I'm gonna move you in a little bit closer so you can see. So I'm gonna take that Toffee and just apply that on my, kind of below the brow bone. And of course it looks more intense in person than it does on camera. And I'm gonna dip my brush in there again and do the other side. Same thing. Kind of just do a windshield wiper motion. And then I really like this brush because if you do it like this, it's flat, and then if you turn it on its side, it's very pointed. So I'm gonna take a little bit more of that Toffee and do my lower lash line, because we're gonna create a pretty smoky eye today. So alright, so we're done with Toffee for now. And then one of my favorite color combos in this palette so far, what shade is this? That's Tourmaline with the Amethyst. That's the eyeshadow combo that I was wearing whenever I filmed my March monthly. So let's do something a little bit different, but still kind of spring friendly. So I want to do the Tourmaline, and I think we'll do the Sapphire. I haven't played with that yet, other than just watching it on my hands. I'm going to take Tourmaline first in a fluffy blending brush and apply that on my crease, or with my hooded eyes, where I want my crease to be. And I just do round little circles, and then windshield wiper to blend it in. and then step back and assess the situation. And this has like a duochrome kind of a shift to it, so as I turn my head, it's like it changes colors. And then I'm just gonna do the other side. Okay, it's looking crazy right now, but we'll fix that. Oh, I didn't tell you guys that I'm using the Eco Tools, the double-ended brushes that I talk about all the time because I really love them, but I'm using the blending side. And then now I'm going to take the smudging side, it's very little like that, and I'm going to dip it into the same shadow and do it on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take the e.l.f. blending brush that I was using earlier and just kind of blend that in, so it doesn't look so harsh. And then I'm going to clean out the outside of it a little bit, just using my fingers so we don't have any harsh lines. You can also use a brush to blend it in, but I just like to use my fingers and make sure I only have eyeshadow where I want them. So there's that, and then now I'm gonna dip my finger into the sapphire shade. These three colors here, the sapphire, amethyst, and intuition, these three, they're best applied with the fingers. This one, as you saw, I was able to apply it with my brush, with my fluffy blending brush, and it applied really well. But these three are a little bit more, I think there's a little bit more shimmer pigments in them, so I like it applied with my fingers better because I get a lot of that color payoff. So I'm just gonna take my middle finger here and pick up some of that sapphire color. Oh my gosh, I think that's gonna be very bold, so check out that color. And I'm just gonna apply this all over my lid. And that's the thing that happens if you have hooded eyes. You apply color on your eyelid, and then when you open your eyes, you look at people straight on, it's gone. They don't even see it. So they can see it whenever you blink. So since that happens and I have no lid space at all whatsoever, I like to bring that color a little bit higher. And it just blends in very nicely. I don't feel like my camera is doing it justice. Okay, you guys see that? Clean up the outside again so I don't look like I have droopy lids. But there that is. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. Make sure it's even, and you see I have a little bit of a fallout there. I'm even using my fingers, but we'll clean that up. That looks pretty intense. I'm going to take a little bit of that blue shade, the sapphire, and I think I want to put it on my lower lash line too. I might regret that decision, but I might not. But I'm going to just put it on the lower third, the outer third of my eyes. Ooh, just for a little pop of color on my lower lash line also. I like that. Definitely just on the lower third though, because I think if I put it around the whole perimeter of my eyes, it would be a little too much. Let's be real though, this eye look is already a little too much. And I was able to pick that up with my blending brush here. It's a little bit more of a packed, it picked it up well and deposited the color very well on the outer third of my eyes. And I really like how it turned out. Oh, let's do a little bit of inner corner highlight and the brow bone. And for that, I'm gonna take the, what color is this? The shade Diamond, right here. And I like to use this as an inner corner highlight with my blending brush here, or with my smudge brush rather. And just pop it on the inner corner. and a little bit on the brow bone. And that completes our eyeshadow look. It only took, what, 10 minutes? And then for another new product in my collection, I have the Pacifica liquid eyeliner. I just picked this up. It is a newly released liquid eyeliner. I told you guys I'm not really into new releases. I usually like to watch other people's reviews first, but I'm really wanting to get my hands on a more cleanly formulated liquid eyeliner that has the brush tip applicator, because that's what I've really been preferring. So I'm just gonna do a little line there. And do the other side. Make sure it's even before I continue on. And I feel like it never is. Okay, I think we're close. And this is pretty opaque on the eyes. I know whenever I swatched it for you guys in my last video, it's not as opaque as the Physicians Formula one that I've been using, but you know, I can work with it. Okay, step back, make sure it's even. I think that looks decent on my asymmetrical eyeballs. I really like it so far. And then let's go ahead and move on to mascara. I have the Honest Beauty mascara. This is a double-ended one. One has the primer and then the other has black mascara. And the primer, the brush looks like this. And it applies to the lashes white. And then we'll move on to the mascara part. And that's what the wand looks like on this. I really like it because it's thin. Because of my hooded eyes, if I use any, like a chubbier mascara wand, I always get mascara all over my lids. And this, because it's so thin, I don't get so much of that. And this just builds on to that primer so beautifully. So it does give you like a really semi-clumpy, very dramatic lashes. The most dramatic I've found in Green Beauty. Even in conventional, because I used to use the, what is it? Estee Lauder had a really good volumizing mascara when I was 18, that's the one I was using. And I went through several tubes of that, and I feel like this Honest Beauty mascara gives me the same look. If I scoot you in a little bit. It's just very dramatic. And then I'm going to dip that back into the tube and do the other side. I feel like it took forever applying that because I'm usually doing my makeup in front of my mirror in the bathroom and it's big. It's not like this tiny mirror that I'm trying to work off of. That's what the mascara looks like. It's so beautiful. It's my favorite. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of mascara on my lower lashes too. That's not usually something that I do, but with such a bold looking eye that we're doing today, I think it can handle some lower lash mascara. And this is perfect for that too because of the smaller wand. Alright, there you go. The eye's done, and the only thing that we have left is the lip. Since we did do this very bold, very colorful eyeshadow, I'm gonna pick a very neutral lipstick, and I have this 100% pure, nope, it's not 100% pure, it's the Red Apple lipstick in the shade Mabel. This is just a very beautiful kind of medium toned pink, kind of My Lips But Better on me. And I really like this because it is very moisturizing. I really like their formulas. And I feel like this is almost going bad, you guys. This is one of my favorite My Lips But Better shades. especially if I'm doing a very bold look, and even when I'm doing like a very natural everyday makeup. I really like that Mabel. I might not be using that for the rest of the month, although it's in my March makeup bag, because yeah, mine definitely tastes like rancid oils going on in there. But that's what it looks like. What do you guys think? So I think that's gonna go ahead and complete this get ready with me. I'm gonna fix my hair, and I am gonna be filming a little bit more today because my youngest is still asleep, so that rarely happens. Usually I have time to film one video and then he wakes up, but since he's still asleep, I think I can sneak another video in here. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my very first get ready with me. I've never done one of these before. I hope I did okay, and I'm glad that the natural lighting was cooperating. At least it seems like it in my viewfinder anyway. I hope it translates well once I'm done editing this. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!